Welcome, everyone. My name is Mo, and I'm the Director of Product Marketing here at Zendesk. I've spent just over 9 years here helping businesses transform their customer experiences. Speaking to innovative businesses and partners is one of my favorite things to do. The world of e-commerce has changed so much in the last couple of years, so we're excited to talk about the ultimate one-stop solution with Zendesk and Shopify. We're super excited for our panelists. We have Ben Siegel, the Senior Director of CX at Pair Eyewear. We have Abdur Bunaja, the Head of CX at LuxDeco, to discuss how they view the importance of customer experience for their business, what they leverage in their tech stack, and how they bring it all together to drive business value that we're all looking for. We also have the pleasure of speaking with Giovanni Polarolo, Merchant Success Manager at Shopify. He will share his experience on what the current e-commerce landscape looks like and why CX is so important.
Thank you so much for the lovely introduction, Mo. It's my pleasure to join you all today. Hi, everyone. My name is Gio, and I'm one of the merchant success specialists here at Shopify. A little bit about me. I've spent most of my career working with digital brands, and as part of my role now at Shopify, I advise some of our incredible merchants on their digital strategy and how to make full use of our platform. As many of you know, Shopify's mission has always been to make e-commerce accessible and easy for everyone. And so it will come to no one's surprise that customers have always been our focus and at the forefront of everything that we do, from our products to our services to the relationships to our partners like Zendesk. As a snapshot of the current trends within the industry, we obviously know that COVID has really pushed the e-com world forward in a significant way. We do see that the industry has been growing and is expected to grow to $11 trillion by 2025. We also know that this has not come without hiccups or costs to our merchants. Nowadays, with the economic turmoil, spending habits of our customers changing, and the increased competition, and also inflation and a number of other issues going on in the world, there are a lot of things that our merchants are facing nowadays that they didn't have to face in the past.
Well, thank you for that overview.
You're very welcome.
So as consumers, we feel that momentum, right? And that opportunity, but it's nice to hear the actual numbers behind it. And frankly, there's so many values that are shared between Shopify and Zendesk. I can't help but think about us as this dynamic duo, kind of like
Absolutely.
salt and pepper, peanut butter and jelly. Now that we have a clear understanding of what e-commerce companies are up against and why CX is important for Shopify customers, I'm just going to quickly introduce you to Zendesk before we sit down, virtually with Pair Eyewear and LuxDeco and learn all about their secrets to success. So Zendesk is a customer service software company designed to improve customer relationships. About 15 years ago or so, we were born in this crazy world of bloated and costly software. And Zendesk came in and made the life easier to set up software, learn, use, and maintain it. We're now a complete customer service solution for businesses of all sizes, and we've really stayed true to our service roots. We power some of the most innovative customer experiences, and we've pre-configured the product with CS best practices, so your team doesn't have to start from scratch, because we know no one has time for that. We like to keep it simple, so really say goodbye to the armies of admins and developers that most of our competitors need to maintain software. And we are there to give agents the tools they need to meet the needs for the business as you continue to scale without adding that additional headcount. Companies become more agile because of our open and flexible platform and built-in best practices. And these all make it easier and faster to optimize the system, add new capabilities, and integrate into your broader technology stack, such as Shopify, as you see here. This means we can help you manage your current business challenges right away and support you longer term with greater agility and the best total cost of ownership in the industry. Ben, please, can you share an introduction of yourself and your company?
Absolutely, be happy to. Thanks so much for having me. So my name is Ben Siegel. I am the Senior Director of Customer Experience at Pair Eyewear. If you haven't seen it, we do these cool things where you can take off the tops on your glasses and change the way you really think about wearing glasses. You can change them every day like you change your clothes. We're direct-to-consumer, affordable, and really, really, really fun. So it's been a really great time at Pair. Prior to this, I worked for over a decade in sports entertainment at places like the Yankees, the Mets, the Patriots, the Bruins. And right before Pair, I was working in CX for 4.5 years at Freshly. on another great company that was using Zendesk at the time as well. So big fan of Zendesk here.
And so I'm going to also let Abder introduce himself.
So again, thank you very much for having me. My name is Abder and I'm head of customer experience at LuxDeco. So LuxDeco is the leading global multi-brand marketplace in interiors. We offer instant access to a vast range of the finest high-end established and artisan home decor brands. Alongside retail, we also offer interior design services through our in-house studio and a trade team who have worked with the biggest names in hospitality.
Right. So I'm going to move us over to a panel style Q&A. We have some questions teed up for our panelists today. We'll start with this one. CX is such a hot topic. Would love to understand from you all how you think about the impact of customer experience to your business.
I think experience is everything. So CX is there to like really foster relationships with the customers and ensure that they become obsessed with the brand and they can't imagine life before we existed in their lives. And I think it all comes back to that experience being the reason why they come back.
Products, but also offering a luxury experience while doing so. Things may not always run smoothly, but we always ensure we turn things around for our customers.
I just wanted to double down on what Ben and Abder actually said. We see every day in and out merchants really make it or break it due to that relationship with their customers. The element of the repeat purchase and the ability for brands and merchants to be able to create that positive experience is fundamental for their long-term success.
It makes a lot of sense. And in the customers that I talk to and work with every day, we're seeing a lot of that as well. We're seeing them invest in self-service, but really try to balance that with, like you said, managing a real-time channel like Talk with the self-service channel like the help center that you guys have, and I know you're investing in heavily for next year, is a great example of how we see companies manage kind of the tighter purse string. So there's ways to do it.
It's my opinion that we'll never automate away all of the tickets. There will always be some need for humans working in customer experience. And we may even see a swing back the other way where brands who prioritize humans over AI will then have an advantage in terms of like a great CX reputation. My goal has been to get really intimately familiar with the data in the CX world to be able to explain where technology works and where it like demonstrably does not.
Well, I just wanted to actually add something to what Ben and Abdur just said there. Obviously, really great point by both of them. But what I would actually say from a platform perspective is important that our merchants lean on their partners, specifically, Zendesk and Shopify. Partners can provide their wealth of experience and data that merchants can use, easily digest, and utilize to then update the approach to CX and improve it in that time.
As you have more challenging customer requests, how does this look different?
Our top priority, of course, is always the customer. Some challenging requests will always require human touch or interaction, especially in the luxury industry.
Right.
When faced with these kinds of challenges, the average handling time or contact deflection subject are no longer considered as part of the top priority list. It's about ensuring our customers have the best experience possible.
So next question, how does your team balance efficiency, right? So thinking about high request volumes coming in from multiple channels with providing really good, excellent customer experience?
I think the biggest thing is really to set those expectations early. You want to let customers know that we're working through inquiries. Here's our estimated wait time. Here's our promise to you in terms of our SLA. There may be times where a mass outbound email is necessary to explain longer than normal wait times. But typically it's been my experience that if you are transparent and upfront with the customer, they'll wait and they will be happy with the service when it gets to be their turn, as long as you were open and honest with them from the get-go. Nothing more frustrating than expecting a real-time response, but the team is behind and they don't get to it immediately. If you just told me up front, hey, it's going to be a little bit before I get to you, I'll be okay with that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Totally agree with that. And is this something that you found simple to kind of execute on with Zendesk?
Yeah. So, of course, there's tagging, and then you can do automations off of tagging. I'll I'll call out a quick partner of mine. We used Lang.ai to really understand the open text of like a Zendesk ticket and then apply tags in real time before an agent even sees that ticket. So then based on those tags, an automation may run where, a public comment is sent to the customer and a ticket is then either solved out or waiting for someone. Or there's other times where based on tag, we'll apply an internal note in Zendesk and give tips to the agent so that before they even get to that ticket, it's almost like I'm over their shoulder and giving them a little advice on how to handle this particular type of ticket because I knew based on tag what that ticket was about before the agent even opened it.
Yeah, obviously the expectations need to be set, and a clear communication is key. So obviously these are the basis of an efficient interaction at any point, and it can obviously work wonders in the long term. And obviously it's not given in the terms of that integration with our partners, and Zendesk and Shopify do that really, really well, seamlessly. And they just give the tools to the merchants to be able to set those flows and those different rules to be able to manage that in the most efficient way.
Every customer interaction is important, but to help our customer service team prioritize certain subjects or queries, some of our contacts, web forms, for example, are pre-qualified. So using Zendesk tags, we created a number of different views with each one linked to a particular subject. And this covers the main queries from pre-sale to post-sale contacts. So by streamlining this process, we can understand, identify, and prioritize certain queries before that first interaction with the customer service agent.
How do you think about business impact that the work that your teams have done over the last year?
Great call out. At Pair, it's definitely been a story of massive growth during and coming out of the pandemic. I don't think we've had a month where we weren't growing at some rate. So our contacts have, of course, skyrocketed. Our team size have been forced to grow alongside that trajectory. And even still, most days we do have a backlog of tickets in our Zendesk inbox. And our response times have been longer than expected, even though we've gotten better and better over time. Still not where I want them to be.
The spirit of guaranteeing that seamless and effortless experience, using these tags in a variety of reports, allowed us to identify several customer pain points and address these in a preemptive manner. We now have a lower volume of incoming written contacts, and these are also better managed, and our average first response time has decreased by 50%.
What are the 1 to 2 key integrations that you've implemented with Zendesk that help you remain competitive in your space?
Well, first one comes to mind is Shopify, of course. Having all primary information in one place not only increased our team's efficiency, but also improve the customer's experience. There is no longer that wait while the agent jumps from one tab to the other to confirm information or check the status of an order or a payment. And if I have to think of another integration, I would say Lovely Views is another one, which allows us to visualize all our views with no limits or cap.
Yeah, first I'll say I did not know about Lovely Views, so that is awesome and lovely, and I appreciate that, and I will take that from you, so thank you so much. I will also say the Shopify integration is core for us as well. We needed the agents to have visibility into the customer purchase data right there in the moment when they're handling the inquiry. So it's a fundamental integration that we needed, and it's something that we use on a truly consistent basis.
Shopify probably, you guys deal with tons of partners and integrations. So curious what your perspective is here.
Yeah, so as you said, we obviously work with loads of partners, and each merchant is very, very different in terms of what they might need at what stage of their business. So here I would probably just want to add that from a technical perspective, from a platform perspective, it's important that merchants work with platforms that have a security and a peace of mind of a seamless integration, where the partners are also able to evolve as the times go without actually requiring the merchants to do any further costly work. And obviously partners like Zendesk can do exactly that with Shopify, and that's why obviously we do foster that sort of relationship, and it has blossomed.
And so this is a Zendesk and Shopify webinar, so I'd be remiss not to ask about results that you've seen by integrating the two systems together.
Since integrating Shopify and Zendesk and looking at what the average handle time was on those tickets, we saw a decrease by about 25%. 100%. So not having agents required to live in Shopify all day and having them just focus on the Zendesk ticket interface. So when the agent and customer finally do connect, and I believe it's truly that great feeling for both sides of the conversation, it's fully caught up.
First and most obvious metric improved by this integration is our average handling time. I mean, as I mentioned earlier, not having agents jumping from one tab to the other reduced the number of clicks required and the handling time. Ultimately, we gained an average of 30 to 45 seconds on each contact. May not sound like a lot for some people, but it was a huge, and still is a huge, improvement that allows us to assist with more queries than ever. The customer experience also improved. Quick access to all the relevant information gives the customer the confidence they are speaking to an expert. And this sets the tone from the very beginning of the contact.
Working at Shopify, we're sort of thought to be, merchant obsessed and always focused on making a difference to merchants. So it's fantastic to hear that, our integration with Zendesk is actually making that possible. And the seamless relationship with you guys, it's helping customers grow.
So first and foremost, we heard about the Zendesk and Shopify dynamic duo, how it helps foster relationships and build that brand loyalty. Or Ben, I think you perfectly put it, make customers, quote, obsessed with your brand and can't imagine life before you existed. I think we kind of grabbed that from one of our customer stories. We also talked about the excellent customer experience that allows you to stand out and sets you apart from the competition, which, as Giovanni spoke about, is one of the biggest obstacles Shopify customers are facing today, right? How do you stand out from the crowd? And we see that CX and that great experience helps you do that. As you keep your customers happy and continue to acquire new ones, hopefully, you can have that confidence in your partnership with Zendesk and really scale without fear. I think a lot of folks make decisions based on kind of their current need. And so I think we encourage people to think about the future of where their CX will be going and make sure you feel confident in the platform that you choose to that it has the capabilities to take you there, right? Before I go there, I just wanted to say a huge thank you to Ben, Abder, and Giovanni for joining us today. We learned so much about your business, so thank you for sharing and opening up for the good of all our viewers. And we hope to have you on another webinar soon.